and you get sort of off-market pricing, which allows you to, again, have less slippage and hopefully a better price and better execution. So it's a very powerful tool for institutions and power traders.
Oh yeah, no, it sounds fascinating. Is that available through the UI and also the API?
Available on both. We've built a very powerful API stack so that you can do all these trades also algorithmically. So maybe that's something, maybe your bots and algos can take a look at.
I'm unironically asking. Yeah, 100%. It
Yeah,
seems like. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Proof of Talk. I'm your host, Andre, and I'm here today with Jason, who's the Chief Innovation Officer at OKX. Nice to meet you, Jason. How are you doing?
It's great to meet you, Andre. Thanks for having me here.
Oh, no, my pleasure. I thought it would be really interesting to kind of get a bit of an understanding on your background and kind of how you got into crypto to begin with. I think that would be very fascinating to learn more about.
Yeah, I mean, I'll start with a little bit about my journey and how I ended up at OKX. I've been at OKX for 8 years now. And so
Wow.
I've done quite a bit here in various roles and shapes. But today I'm Chief Innovation Officer and really excited to talk about some of our efforts to really push the industry forward, both on our Web3 wallet side, so some of the DeFi stuff that we're working on, but also some of our exchange products that I'm sure we'll dive into deeper later. So my crypto journey started in 2013 when I was in the Bay Area doing my a previous startup. In our free time, we actually went to these local Bitcoin meetups in the Bay Area and got to learn about all the possibilities that Bitcoin held and all the dreams that everyone had for what this technology could do. So fast forward today, it's amazing to see how years later, 15 years later, basically, or 14 years, sorry, since Satoshi and all that with the white paper, how far along we've come, but yet there's still so much work that needs to be done. My previous career was in traditional finance, and so just this intersection of finance technology was just fascinating for me and really sucked me in once I learned more about Bitcoin and crypto.
Right. Yeah, it is fascinating, right? To think that you can effectively create value through like internet protocols. It's fascinating. And I don't think there was a time before this where we've had this much of a shift in how money and finance and well, global finance works as we do today. And like you've just rightly pointed out, we're still kind of at the beginning stage of this. So that's what makes it super interesting and super fascinating in the world of, well, both CeFi and DeFi, because you guys kind of do both, right? You're trying to, I'm guessing, merge the convenience of CeFi with the self sovereignty and freedom of DeFi, which is where I think a lot of the products are gonna go in the future. People love the convenience, but they also like the freedom. So how do you give both, right?
Yeah, I mean, to your point about how early we are, I think, just the fact that if you go to any random person on the street and ask them what they find valuable, digital items or digital artifacts or collectibles or whatever it is you want to call these things, is not high on that list. I think people still don't innately understand that digital items can be valuable at all. Um, and I think that's part of this, why it's going to take a while, whether it's just a generational thing or it's an educational thing. Um, People have a hard time ascribing value to digital. And that's why this trend is early, is precisely because if you don't think digital items can have value, you're going to have a hard time understanding why you want to secure it, why you want to have a wallet to hold it, why you want to interact and build and do things with it. And that's where we come into play, right? Like you said, we're trying to bring that Web2 simplicity and ease of use on our exchange side to educate and also onboard users into the space, but also give them those tools when they are ready to custody and be self-sovereign. I think it's very powerful, and we have a lot of work to do, and I think the industry has lot of work to do. But it's just such a fascinating place that we're heading towards.
Oh yeah, definitely. I completely agree with that sentiment, and the fact that users need to first kind of understand the value that this technology holds before understanding how to best make use of that. Um, there's been well, since 2008. My math is really failing me right now, but that's well, 16 years. Yeah,
Yeah,
about
my math failed me earlier too. But yeah, 16. Wow.
it's 16 years, and we've come a long way. I feel it's 2 trillion market cap. There's ETFs being approved. It feels like everything's moving in the right direction. Bitcoin's concerned to be as environmentally friendly as possible when it comes to proof of work, and I feel like people have some understanding of it, but there's still more. That's just, I feel like, the top level. And then once you get into DeFi, then that's where it becomes confusing sometimes, even for people that have been in crypto for a while, because DeFi can be a wild space. And I know that you guys are planning to get more into DeFi and work on or on advancing DeFi as an industry. What are your guys' plans on DeFi?
Yeah, so when we think about DeFi, it's really helping our users uh, sort of be educated and be have access to all the stuff that's happening in the I'll just call it the wider world of Web3.
I
And
like that.
that starts really with the wallet that we have, our OKX Web3 wallet. And what that is a multi-chain wallet that we've built. Supports almost any, I think 85 plus today, different networks and protocols. And in one place, users can jump between protocols to explore all the various use cases out there. And an example of that would be someone that, Bitcoin and Bitcoin ordinals and inscriptions are very popular over the past few months. And someone could very easily access those, mint those, trade those on our wallet, but also, with a in the same interface and user experience, go and participate in all the cool stuff that's happening on the Solana ecosystem. So
Right.
what we're trying to build is just this one stop for users to just, when they discover something and they learn about something, they're easily able to participate, all while, of course, storing assets, self custodying their own assets. So that's really our vision. And then to layer on top of that, we have a few things that we're really excited about this year, one of which is our layer two that we're going to be launching later. And
Okay.
our thinking here is that we want to help protocols and our community connect with each other. And we want to help bring a sort of cohesive user experience as users experience going on chain for the first time, or their 100th time. And part of that is making sure that there's good liquidity bridges, there's good collaboration and interoperability. We're working really hard with the community and developers around to make sure that that's going to happen. And even now, the network is in testnet, and there's over 170, I think I checked earlier, different protocols and applications that are going to be deployed or planning to deploy on mainnet. So we're excited about that. I think there's a lot of momentum there, and absolutely, I would encourage people to stay tuned as we bring that to market.
Oh, that's incredible. Let me unpack that for a second because that's huge. So
Yeah,
first of all, you've mentioned the wallet that basically allows you to connect to 80. Was it 84?
85 plus is what I learned this morning.
85 plus different chains. Well, that is huge because as a user, as a Web3 user myself, I have several wallets and sometimes I have multiple of the same wallet across different devices. So that's definitely going to save a lot of headache. I just wanted to ask your kind of implementation of this wallet. I was actually speaking to the people heading the Cosmos development on my last episode, and kind of that's where I come
Hmm.
from. Like my head is all into like interconnectedness right now. Have you guys leveraged any kind of protocols that help communicate cross chains, or have you built your own, or is it like a mix of both of these things?
I think just before we dive into that part specifically, I think it's not just a. I think the wallet supporting multiple chains is very cool in itself. But one unique thing that we've done is the application to access your exchange account. So this is the CeFi side, and the DeFi, the Web3 wallet. It's in one app. So you don't even need to go download a separate app to do so. And I think that's where the simplicity and the user experience that we're trying to bring really is shown, because we're trying to show users that when you're ready to learn and explore about Web3, you can really simply do so in the same application that you already have. And
Right.
so that's our approach, is trying to make it as easy as possible for users to do that. To your specific question about interoperability, obviously super important when we're interacting with so many different protocols and networks. Um, I I think we're what we try to do is to make sure we engage with all the various protocols and networks and communities out there, and the developers work to, whether it's a uh, we have not developed anything specific. We're leveraging and connecting to all the protocols
Right.
that are publicly available. But whether there are protocols that help interchain messaging and things like that, or cross-chain swaps, for cross-chain liquidity, we are connecting to those as users, as we see the user demand occur. So, one example
Mhm.
is more specific to actual liquidity and use cases is, when someone has USDC on Solana and they want to go do something on Arbitrum or ETH or whatever, we've connected to Circle's cross chain transfer protocol to allow for sort of really seamless and instantaneous USDC swaps, right? So it's things like these. It's more built around use cases that we're really focused on, really trying to help and elevate that user experience to something um, that users really feel good about.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And it's always like it's the idea, I think like the paradigm for cross-chain compatibility is kind of shift a little bit. I think for a while you had the it's EVM, everything's EVM, but now you have EVM plus some of the others, more specifically Solana. Like Solana's been coming in hot. They had their Solana chapter 1 release, they got a chapter 2, they're teasing it in 2025. Um, they're not going anywhere. They're going to keep growing, and I think it's fantastic to be able to bridge to Solana and other projects like like
Yeah,
like so.
yeah, and then another example, referencing that Solana thing, is Solana and NFTs have come and are popular again, and part of our approach is, um, just for NFTs, for example, we built our NFT marketplace that's built in is a aggregator across chains.
Right.
So if you were to search for a specific NFT collection that you've heard of, but you don't know necessarily which chain it's on, or you want to swap between different collections between chains, that's all built in natively, so you could experience that. And it's utilizing some of the technologies I mentioned earlier, right, where we have again built in sort of cross chain um, swaps and things like that. So that's the kind of experience that we're going for. It's not, we've got work to do,
Yeah.
uh, and cross chain bridges, as you know, are sometimes not reliable, or they have issues and things like that. But
Yeah.
we're trying to find that decentralized way that brings the reliability that CeFi users would tend to expect. But that's the approach that we're going for.
So it's in a nutshell, it's a gateway towards the decentralized web without any other level of complexity. It's abstracting away from the idea of chains and different wallets and different protocols. It's just one gateway. Here's your whole Web3.
That's our vision, and we like that word gateway a lot. Also,
Okay.
that's what we think. But again, it's as the I think it is still very early, right? There are so many new use cases and protocols and standards that even today are still coming to market. I mentioned the ordinals and inscriptions earlier, but I was just reading and learning, just like you are, about ERC 404s, right? 404.
Right.
And these are just new things that our team is really spending a lot of time on the ground talking and listening with the community to see how do we bring these new cutting edge protocols into the wallet, so make sure that they're supported, but also in a safe and reliable way, right? And so that's the balancing act that we have to do. But like you said, it is that gateway approach that we're taking. We want users to come to our wallet and feel confident that, if there's something that they want to do, our wallet will be able to support that.
Right. Yeah. And I feel that is where where the ecosystem itself ends up bringing that much more value to the users, because it again, if you're looking to get users who are maybe not super into Web3, you're going to get them into Web3. You want to abstract away from the complexity. That often means that you're going to have to build software or protocols for developers to make it easier for them to build the end product. Is there Are there any DeFi protocols or projects or GitHub repos or anything that you guys are putting out, hoping to get some community momentum around?
Absolutely. I think the way we think about building is to make sure developers that want to interact and integrate our wallet first and foremost have the tools and documentation so they can do so in a way that works, obviously. But
Right.
two, also, is we're spending time contributing to the broader communities with code and also education. One example, I guess I can give two examples. One is, I mentioned our layer two that is going to be, we're working with Polygon to do that. We're going to be using their CDK. It's a ZK EVM. And that may not mean much, but I think it's important to know that our, as part of that collaboration, our engineers ourselves are contributing time and code and effort to develop code so that this can continue to improve. I think that's one. And then we've also been working with the Ethereum Foundation and community to propose new standards in things like account abstraction, right? I think we're going to be
Right.
putting out some new proposed standards on how we can make modular. I don't know how to describe it without being too technical, but trying to make the smart account and account abstraction standard be a little bit more usable and be a little bit more interoperable. So stay tuned for that. And then broadly, even beyond that, if you look across ecosystems to Bitcoin, we have a grants program that we, instead of ourselves contributing code, we provide funding for
Right.
Bitcoin Core developers and Lightning developers to
Oh, that's
really
awesome.
advance open source development, right? So that's the type of support we want to do and sort of participate in among the developer community. But if there's feedback on how better we can do that, I mean, we're also all ears.
No, I think that's fantastic. And I think that's the beauty of Web3. You have this kind of you see communities coming around, you see organizations contributing to repositories because the technology is amazing and is scalable. It makes sense for organizations to contribute to that code base. Rather than roll
Absolutely.
out their own version, and it's great to see that happen. It's great to see that collaboration going. So you've mentioned you're building your own L2 solution. You're using Polygon. You're using a ZK EVM for that. Are there any technical specs at the moment that you'd be willing to share?
Again, I'm not super technical, but the documentation is out there, and I'd encourage any developers that are interested to learn more to reach out, or just go to our page on our website to learn more about the technical aspects. We are hoping that a lot of this stuff is already open source, and parts of our wallet are already open source, and we're hoping to continue that momentum to open source even more of our code, so people can build on top of it and also battle test it. Right? I think that's the key. It's more so the mindset of how we work in Web3. I think you highlighted was is what we want to you know be a part of and also reinforce.
Right. Yeah. No, that's
Yeah.
fantastic. Tell me a little bit about what do you think the role of layer 2 solutions are for the growth of the EVM ecosystem?
Yeah, I think at its core, it really opens up some of the use cases that people are dreaming of. I think in previous cycles, we quickly learned that ETH layer one is just not feasible for multiple sort of, if there's something going on chain, whether it's an NFT drop or a game or something, it's just not, it doesn't work, right? And I think it is the layer two aspect, and now part of the reason why you're seeing so many layer twos is that some of these scalability issues that we faced in the past are now being solved and being put to the market. Still early, we think, and how it exactly plays out in terms of how many layer twos do we need, what is the differentiator between them. I think the market will figure that out. But I think
Right.
the capacity for these layer twos to provide cheaper transactions, faster, all those good things about solving scalability is going to open up use cases. And I think ultimately it boils down to use cases, right? When we come down to applications and users using those applications, they expect a certain level of user experience where it's not paying $30 for a transaction for
Yeah.
as an example, right? And so
Ideally
that's
not. Yeah.
exactly, and that's where we are particularly excited about. It's just that the some of these scalability issues in the past are being solved right now, and we're happy to see how we can contribute to building things once we have those uh, solved.
Yeah, I was talking to this guy that's built an open source token gating mechanism for WordPress websites. So you'd be able to token gate pages and stuff like that. He called it LoopRes, and it's built on top of Loopring. And I didn't know at the time. He explained it to me that the long term vision for LoopRes is that LoopRes is going to be the layer two for Ethereum, and they're gonna have another layer on top of that, I think called Tyco. So then you're gonna have layer three rolling up the transactions that are already rolled up from layer one and then sending them all the way over. So you have another, I guess, degree of scalability, which is probably, we're talking again, I don't know, 100 to 100,000 TPS or like something really crazy. That would be more than Visa transacts at the moment.
Yeah, that would be amazing, right? And if we expect applications like what was that, Loop Press? Is that what was the
LoopRes,
name?
yeah.
Loop Press. Yeah, to scale and to grow, these are not just merely financial transactions, right? These are, every page you look at, article you look at is potentially multiple transactions. And so I think that's where we need to go. Obviously, we'll need to figure out uh, security implications of having an L3 and things like that. But I think we'll get there. I think there's just a lot of focus and really smart people working on this. So it's just an exciting time, I think, right now for crypto in general.
Oh yeah, it's so exciting. It's so exciting. We're literally talking over a 10% bump in the market right now. So
Mhm.
that's
Oh,
quite
okay,
nice.
good, perfect
Yeah.
timing. And I was just in Dubai and meeting with a lot of people, and there's also a lot of momentum about layer twos and scalability on Bitcoin. Also, I think
Yeah.
this year is going to be very fascinating because with the ordinals boom last year, there's now a lot of new developers and lot of new capital coming into the Bitcoin ecosystem. So while the base chains are very different, I think you can expect to see a lot of momentum and a lot of excitement coming out from there also. So again, just broadly agreeing with you, there's just so much cool stuff that's about to happen in 2024. It's a good time.
Yeah, with ordinals, I've recently I had my mind change on ordinals. I used to think, look, if Bitcoin is already at its
Mhm.
capacity most of the time, right? It's not a fast chain. It's not, never was supposed to be. So for a long time, I thought, okay, well, ordinals are kind of just adding to the transactions and to the clutter on the chain. So what's really the purpose of that? But then I was speaking to this guy that's running a kind of like a mining, ASIC mining business on Bitcoin. And he's been a miner, has got like experience with mining himself, and he's saying that from from the perspective of the miners, it actually incentivizes them quite a lot, because it's you're making up in transactions what you wouldn't when the halving happens. So that's going to be in
Mhm.
April. Well, we expect it to be 20th of April, 420, right? There's going to be 3.125, and then it's going to halve from there. And that's the point where miners in Bitcoin expect that rewards from processing, ordinal transactions is going to overtake the amount they make by confirming blocks, which is huge because this was not the case 3 years ago.
Yeah, I mean the implications for Bitcoin's security budget due to all this additional activity on the Bitcoin network is it's huge, right? I think the we had always expected there to be a fee based security budget, and
Right.
now we're starting to see what that might look like. I mean, we don't know if this is the model forever, but to see more Bitcoin activity um, is just tremendously positive for the entire ecosystem. Um, we're at OKX. We're pretty bullish and very excited for what Ordinals opens up. It's just a entirely new, just the way of thinking about these meta protocols and using techniques like that to expand Bitcoin's design space. It's phenomenal, and I think we will see a lot of new stuff come out this year that is going to really, I wouldn't say validate, but at least the experimentation is going to be immense. And we're proud to be that wallet that supports all that up front. Again, I mentioned Bitcoin and all the Bitcoin ecosystem stuff is already in the wallet. So you can again not just Solana and ETH, but also jump back into Bitcoin if you want to. Also,
That's so cool. I actually wanted to go a little bit back on the wallet and explore the
yeah.
connectivity between the DeFi and CeFi side of things, because there's a lot of value in that. I think right now, we what the workflow is, if you're looking to go from CeFi into DeFi, is you're gonna go to an exchange, you're gonna go to OKX, what you would have before the wallet, right? Withdraw some funds onto your wallet, pay the gas fee, and then you'd be done with that. So how does your wallet change that workflow, and how does it make it easier for people to connect between CeFi and DeFi?
Yeah, so I think our vision, as you articulated, actually is to make that process as seamless as possible. Um, I think users that connect and load up their wallet, or sorry, if they log into their exchange account and also set up their wallet account, yeah, again, it's in the same app, right? And
Right.
link the two, I think offers them really more seamless abilities to do exactly what you said, right? If, for example, if a user wants to withdraw from their exchange account, they might have bought some crypto, withdraw it and send it to their wallet. Because you've linked your accounts, you can do that seamlessly in very few clicks without copying, pasting addresses, not have to worry about sending it to the typos or anything like that. I think
Right.
that in its sense is already a huge hurdle that users
Oh yeah.
have sort of hesitations around. Um, and then furthermore, in the exchange itself, we allow you to pick and choose what layer twos you want to withdraw into, um, and what type of networks you want to support, and and you want to use. And so that also helps smooth out some of the issues, right? If you, let's say, start with ETH and it's on Ethereum, but you want to go into a layer two, the exchange linkage allows you to bypass some of that friction and go straight into the application you're using, for example, on a layer two. And again, that's all connected, right? Like we don't need to
Right.
have you copy and paste and do another swap and things like that. So those are some of the things that we're thinking about. Further down the road, though, I think the product team has some pretty interesting thought on how to make that even more connected. Um, Nothing specific to announce right now, but we are absolutely thinking about how DeFi and CeFi, they offer different benefits and trade offs, right? And
Right.
so we want to bring the benefits to the user while sort of abstracting away some of those trade-offs. And so if we can offer this sort of seamless DeFi CeFi experience, that's what we're going to be pushing forward to, so that users can also get educated, right? I think the key part is not just the transactional friction, but there's a lot of a hesitation around, am I going to mess up once I'm self-custodying assets? There's this fear that I don't know what I'm doing, or I'm going to lose my whatever assets or private keys and
Yeah.
things like that. So I think new technologies or newer technologies like MPC and things like that, where you shard the keys and provide users way to back them up. These are ways where we can seamlessly build into the CeFi experience, so users can have a wallet very quickly, without risk or less risk of being without their funds. So these are things that we're exploring. I think it's again also a very open and interesting space.
Oh yeah, and that's super exciting. I'm really gonna keep an eye out for that. I personally really like the idea of no longer being able, no longer having to confirm that this is the correct wallet to send to, not dealing with that level of abstraction. Um, I think a lot of people will definitely go on board with that. And I think to the bigger, it really plays into bigger adoption. It's not just people who are like hardcore into crypto that were, here when Bitcoin happened. It's just it expands to people and makes it easy to onboard people that were not here from the start. And I feel like this has been always one of the biggest challenges with cryptocurrency. A lot of the times you have developers building for developers, and then you have people in the space kind of very cliquey about things, and not really into that much adoption, which is, it will definitely change. And I think that's kind of the tools and the processes that you're building right now are driving that change. And I think that's fantastic. Um, do
Yeah,
you
one
go on?
one other thing to add on that is, I talked about account abstraction earlier, and
Yeah.
really it's just it provides for new ways to interact with on-chain wallets. And one thing that we're particularly excited about is the ability to do sort of on-chain social recovery, really trying
Okay.
to take away some of that risk or fear that you may lose access to your wallet and your funds. And I think that that's yet to come, and we're spending a lot of time looking at it. I think later this year we'll start to see sort of prototypes and first attempts at that, and that's another way where, to your point about making sure, when users onboard and try these things out for the first time, they can overcome that fear that they have, and we hope it will make that impact to make it easier.
Right. Yeah. No, it definitely will. You won't be just running on adrenaline every time you send a transaction, even though that is fun sometimes. It does get old. Yeah.
Absolutely, double checking all those every single letter, and it's tough.
Sending it right the first time to confirm, sending it wrong the second time around with the real amount. Oh man. Yeah, definitely. So I wanted to get a little bit into the CeFi things that you guys do, because I know you do a lot of things. I'm also deeply involved in CeFi. I've helped co-found an algorithmic crypto trading platform, and we've actually integrated with a few exchanges, OKX being one of them. So we allow people to use our application to programmatically place trades on OKX. And I wanted to get kind of like your understanding into what are the some of the new things that people in CeFi can expect.
Yeah, I mean, we on the CeFi, sort of the exchange side of our business, we've got a lot of cool stuff that's coming this year. You mentioned being able to. What's the name of your platform? I don't
It's
want to
called
mispronounce it.
Aesir
Aesir.
as the bunch of Asgard gods, northern gods,
Okay.
the Aesir.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, I mean, look, we encourage integrations like that, right? As long as it's safe, users understand what they're doing. This is something that we work with across multiple partners and providers across the space. One thing we were pretty, I think the team was pretty proud of was we have a trading view integration also, not as sophisticated as your algorithmic bots, But it allows users to be able to hopefully make better trading decisions with their charting and other tools, and also place those orders via the trading view interface and not have
Yeah.
to log in directly to their OKX account. So
Oh, that's
again, it's
cool.
this yeah, it's a seamless way of we have the liquidity, we obviously have the platform and execution and all that, but we're providing different ways for users to engage with that, and how do they make a trade is what we explore. And so onto the copy trading feature that you mentioned, that's also, we launched that about a year ago now.
Okay.
And that's something that's gotten pretty good traction. I think it brings again, a different and new way of um, being able to be involved, I think, first and foremost, but also hopefully make smart trades. The way it works is um, users, or there's two sets of users. One is a user that we call it a lead trader, basically, someone that
Right.
is willing to share their trading strategies um, to others. And the other set is users that want to copy, which is why it's called copy trading, basically copy and execute on the trading strategies that the lead trader has provided. And there's a if the trades go well, there's a profit sharing arrangement built into the system. Um, I think what's coolest about this is crypto is very much about community
Mm.
and about sort of that information sharing and really that community aspect. And the social aspects of this copy trading is what we've seen really be powerful. It's a great way to connect with others that you think you want to connect with and participate in their trading activity. We also try to
Mhm.
make it as transparent and provide as much data for users to make those right decisions when they decide to copy someone's trade, right? Where we show things like what percentage of trades, the hit rate, what percent of trades were profitable, what type of instruments they're engaging in, what type of leverage they're using, perhaps if they are. So that's sort of the approach that we're taking. I think it's been a pretty fun, but also a well-received product.
Yeah, no, it is. It is amazing. Like copy trading is always one of these tools that people like are almost kind of magical, but people have to understand some of the limitations, I guess, around tools like this. For instance, would I, if I were to copy another trader, would I be able to copy their positions, or would I be able to start from like new positions going forward?
I need to check with the specifically on that feature. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Okay, fair. Because yeah, that's what like a lot of times people go into the copy trading, and there's a certain hit rate or profitability rate,
Hmm.
but that is with historical trades that have already accrued the profit.
You're
So
right.
going forward, you have to kind of, okay, well, this is proven to work historically. It may very well work going forward, but it is the same profitability for my trades from this point onward is not necessarily guaranteed. Um,
You're absolutely right, and I think it's very important for a platform like us to make sure that users are very aware of what they're engaging with and what they're committing to. Again, we try to be as transparent as we can about the metrics
right.
and the activity, but also make sure that users have the contextual and sort of educational information that they need to go into these products. And this goes for every single product offering that we have, right? It's the the educational part is and sort of making sure users are aware of the risks are super important. And that's fundamental to how we build and design our products.
Yeah, I think that is exactly the point, is the education aspect of it. I think educating people creates better users and then creates better products, and it feeds from one to another. You create a certain like synergistic way of these two improving each other and feeding back, um, which is also
Absolutely.
fantastic because in
Yeah,
crypto you
absolutely.
have, yeah, yeah. You have the ability to also communicate more than you ever did in any other line of business, right? In crypto, so that even it feeds the whole machine even more. which again creates better products that create better users and so on. Uh,
The community aspect of crypto, I think, cannot be understated.
yeah,
I think we very much rely on that feedback loop that you described, also to improve our products. We're very active. I would hope we're very active that even on Twitter or on our social other social channels or via
yeah.
customer support, where um, user feedback about features and you know anything really, we're super happy to take that and respond to it.
Yeah, no, you're. I can definitely confirm you're super active on Twitter, and I do like your Twitter persona. I think it's pretty cool.
Well,
OKX's
thank
Twitter
you,
persona. So,
thank you.
um, I wanted to get a little bit into nitro spreads and what they are and how you guys offering with the tighter spreads and the execution speeds. How all of that works a little bit in detail, if you want.
Absolutely. I think nitro spreads is a type of trade that you can make on our liquidity marketplace. And liquidity marketplace is something that we've built really more for the institutional and sophisticated traders.
Right.
It it allows for the packaging and execution of multi-legged, sort of, again, more sophisticated trades. I think that's what that tool does, and it's very powerful. And I don't know if we have time to dive really deep into it, but it's a tool that you can use to make extremely large block trades if you wish, to
Right.
minimize execution risk and slippage and things like that. Or you could use it to do things like nitro spreads, which is what you asked about. And nitro spreads is really a fancy term for basis trading or spread trading, which is taking two products that you think have some arbitrage gap, and you want to execute them together and capture that spread or that basis
Right.
difference. Um, it's fairly common in crypto as a strategy, mostly because crypto has sort of this unique market structure of having perpetuals and futures and spot and all these different um, sort of expirations on futures. So you can get creative and also put multi leg trades together on your own. You could do that today without the liquidity marketplace, but you run into some of the issues that I had highlighted, where you may not be able to get the pricing that you expected when you initially identified the opportunity.
Right.
That's due to slippage or just pure execution timing or liquidity issues, and that's all solved via this nitro spread product within liquidity marketplace. It's really a one click. Hey, this is what I want to do. I click and it executes both legs atomically. So you either you get it or you don't, and you get sort of off market pricing, which allows you to again have less slippage and hopefully a better price and better execution. So it's a very powerful tool for institutions and power traders.
Oh yeah, no, it sounds fascinating. Is that available through the UI and also the API?
Both, yes, available on both. We've built a very powerful API stack so that you can do all these trades also algorithmically. So maybe that's something maybe your bots and algos can take a look at.
I'm unironically asking. Yeah, 100%. It
Yeah,
seems like
I see where you're going, and I think the one thing is, I do believe you need, as a user, you need to apply for access to the liquidity marketplace for specific products, and not obviously not all products are available in all jurisdictions, depending on where the user is. But absolutely, I think if that's something your bots can consume and build trading strategies on, I think that'd be very cool.
yeah. Well, we are quite like our backend is quite robust and flexible, so we can easily add new working parts together, change the kind of orders we have, type of orders, and all that. So it's definitely something I'll look into. That does sound very interesting.
Okay, yeah, and the documentation for the API is also on the website, and I can point you to that if you need it.
Sweet. Yes, definitely. I'll definitely shoot you guys an email after this.
Nice.
I also wanted to ask you, what do you think lies ahead in the future? What are some of your plans at OKX, and also where do you think the crypto industry as a whole is going to go within the next couple of years, 5 years from now?
5 years in crypto is a very, very long time, as you know. So I will respectfully pass on that. But I think if you zoom out and take a look at the trend, um, I think we can all agree on this increasing one awareness. I think awareness is done, right? Like everyone knows about crypto, everyone knows what it is,
Right.
what it can do. Two is now this sort of adoption where even a few years ago, you had people that were skeptical whether crypto will be around in 5 years or 3 years, whatever. And now I think that's also gone. I think people have accepted that there will be crypto and it will be around for a very, very long time. With the ETF, with regulatory clarity, with again some of these scalability issues that are being resolved, and also new use cases that are being developed on chain, like the Bitcoin stuff that we talked about. Tremendous momentum, I think,
Mm,
heading into this year and the years to come. We're kind of bouncing off of maybe a rough year where certain bad actors are now being flushed out of the system.
right.
The people that came for a quick buck or for yeah, just I guess tourists have also left, and so what you've been left with is a really core set of builders and businesses and developers and all that really understand what we're aiming towards here, and building towards here.
Yeah.
And I think you'll see a lot of those things come to market now. I think you kind of already feel that the momentum has shifted quite a bit from even 6 months ago. And for us at OKX, we're really leveraging on that broad trend, right? We are, I think earlier, just last month, we announced we just got a license, and I'll start with the CeFi side first. We got our license in Dubai with Vara over there.
Oh,
We're
nice.
expanding into the UAE as a result. We are going to be launching in new markets in Latin America, Brazil, Argentina, Turkey. We've got some cool other locations that we're going to be launching in. So very much an expansion of our products and services to a wider audience. And then on the Web3 wallet side, we're building on a lot of the momentum that we've seen over the past year about we've been jam packing our wallet with a lot of these features that we discussed earlier, this multi-chain support. But I think we have a lot of work to do in terms of even making even more easy for users to onboard and understand all the things that are happening. We're working hard to support, most importantly, support and make sure that all these new use cases that are coming to market this year are going to work seamlessly in our wallet. So interoperability, building those connections with the developer community, super important for us. And then the layer two we discussed also, that's going to open up hopefully some new use cases and new user experiences. So there's a lot, and that's just, I think, in my mind, I only told you about what's happening in the next few months.
Right.
So I don't know how to get to 5 years or even 3 years. We're just got so much planned just for the next 3 to 6 months. And I'd love to keep you guys posted as we continue on that journey.
Oh yeah, no, that would be fantastic, and I completely understand. 5 years in crypto is 100 years in real life, at least. It's nuts. Yeah. Also, to your point of flashing out bad actors, I feel like that is one of the best things that a bear market can do, because all of those unsustainable business models in crypto that come out during the bull run, then they get flashed out in the bear market, or all these high yield farming, all these, like really unsustainable unless the numbers keep going up, they have to fold because there's no other way. And that just doesn't include the flat out fraudulent ones that we've seen before. So it feels like it's kind of like springtime in crypto. Like the old's gone, the new's in. The things that we know and love for a few years ago, they're still kind of going strong. So they've proven to work. So I think it's a very positive year in crypto. I think it's going to be a very positive year next year as well. And I think adoption will spread from institutional into more globalized country level adoption. We've seen it with El Salvador. I think they broke even like a couple of months ago, and I think they're finally in profit, and it can only go up from here, which is fantastic to see that. And it's fantastic to see the guy, sticking to his guns for so long, Nayib Bukele. uh,
And he got reelected, so he's going to continue his strategy.
with
And I think
90% approval rates. Yeah.
pretty amazing. I think some of the efforts that they make on the volcano stuff and the mining, and it's going to take time, but it's just great to see that level of experimentation. And it's El Salvador's, I think, a great example. But you look just slightly across, you see Argentina
Right.
uh, also having just this really innate understanding of the value of Bitcoin and crypto. And that's why we're expanding into Argentina also. And this is happening in pockets with various differences um, globally too, right? We're working on our license in Hong Kong, and we hope to be successful there. Hong Kong is becoming a real hub for crypto activity in Asia, and there's already existing hubs in Singapore and Japan and others. So we can go around the world, and it's just going to be a very good year. I think the one place where we'd love to see more progress is the U.S. and but it's an election year this year, so we'll have to stay tuned.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, if RFK gets elected, then there's going to be a very crypto friendly environment if that happens. The guy's very bullish on Bitcoin.
We will have to see, wait and see. Yeah,
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you can never know until it actually happens. Totally. Well, look, I'm really excited about this. I think you guys are building some really, really amazing products. I can't wait to see what are the new things that you're going to come up with, and I'll be closely following your guys' progress in the months and years to come. I wish you all the best with the approval in Hong Kong, because I know Hong Kong is, like rightly pointed out, is going to be a massive crypto hub, the way it's planning out right now, at least. So that's fantastic to see. Do you have anything else that you'd like to announce, or anything else you'd like to let the listeners know? Anything at all?
I think just one, which is the community aspect that I talked about. We truly mean it, and so I'm on Twitter or X at Jason KLAU. You can ping us and give us feedback on our products. I think that's super super important. Our product and engineering teams crave feedback, and we want to know how we can improve our products for our users. And if you're a developer, if you're any other contributor in the space, we're also like happy to talk. Right, we want to work and engage to really collaboratively build towards this sort of this exciting years to come. So please do reach out.
Awesome. Well, it's been a pleasure, Jason. Honestly, I had a lot of fun, and I feel like I've learned a lot. And I'm totally gonna ping you about the nitro spreads post
Please,
conversation.
please, thank you. Thanks for
Thank
having
you.
me.
Thank you. No, it's been great. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.